Yeah, he's right to let him talk.
So, I mean, the thing is, it's over 10,000 years old, and these pathetic Muslims come along with 1,400 years old.
Hey, Sanjay, you have every right to be angry, you have every right to voice your things, but be careful with these pathetic Muslims, etc., etc. How are you?
Very angry. I'm sure you can understand why.
I can imagine.
Listening to Sanjay.
Your show's been absolutely explosive so far.
Yeah, man, we've been going in.
I just heard your man, that guy Sanj.
Yeah.
Speaking on the radio, he's a bit extreme, man.
Well, he said he was, yeah. He said, I am a Hindu extremist, is what he said, yeah.
You have a crazy character. I come across everybody, but that guy, he was just one in a million, man. He was just there. He just exploded the radio part, man.
I have loved Sanjay to bits. He should consider a career in comedy.
Sanjay is in Leicester, and Noshaba Hussain is with us as well. Good afternoon to both of you.
Hi. Hello, good afternoon.
Sanjay, I'll start with you, then I'll go straight to Noshaba. Sanjay, do you believe that this UKIP MEP has a point?
He has a point, but I don't really know what his point is by doing this. People need to realise that Islam is a worldwide problem, and it's caused nothing but pain ever since it started. The only reason I ring in as a Hindu, because they've caused so much problems to Hindus over the thousand years. They've killed so many Hindus, so I'm always affected by it. So that's why I always ring in the radio station as a Hindu ringing in.
I think the Muslims in Gujarat might take some issue with that.
Yeah, well, the thing is this. I'll just give you some quick facts and that's it. What I want to say is Muslims have killed over 100 million Hindus in India. They've knocked down 20,000 Hindu temples, and then to top it up, they've built mosques on top of that. It's not that we hate Muslims, it's the fact that we are aware of Muslims. We're intelligent enough to know what's exactly happened. They've converted so many Hindus into Muslims over the years. Like I said, Islam is...
Such as specify a verse that you feel teaches Muslims to be evil people.
I've read the Quran sometimes.
Okay, well then good. Then you'll be able to name the verse.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't really want to start spouting out quotes because you sometimes take problem to that. So what I want to say is...
No, wait a minute, Sanjay. Yeah. This is free speech. I'm not Kim Jong-il. I mean, if you make a comment like that about Muslims, okay. I think that Muslims listening, and indeed anyone listening, has the right to hear you specify the verse.
Okay, there's one verse that says kill all infidels, which is non-believers. Now the thing is, they especially say Christians...
Isn't there a context to that?
Yes, there is. Another thing I want to say is, everyone keeps reading this English Quran, which has got edited versions. It's missing verses off it. They need to read the Medina version of the full Quran. Everyone keeps... the Quran we're reading in the UK is edited.
Sanjay, when was the last time one of your Muslim friends tried to kill you? Or indeed any Muslim tried to kill you?
They didn't, but I'll tell you a story. We did.
What's wrong with them then?
Nothing, because they're British born. What I'm saying is when they got older, they got more religious. When we were young, we were better. We never talked about religion much. Right. And this is the problem.
Have you gone to India?
Yes.
Do you feel that you have wandered past a Muslim at all when you were in India?
Yes, I have certain areas where I went into Delhi. There was Hindus telling me don't go down. I said, are you kidding me, mate? This is Hindustan. Are you out of your mind? They said there's Muslims in that area. They'll kill you, in other words.
And did you go?
No, I didn't, because it was pathetic. Because the thing is, I can fight them, but what am I supposed to do on my own? It's not look, all it is about is the fact that Islam is a dangerous ideology. It is a problem worldwide, and it's going to take over the world. It's got 56 countries already. People are just thinking I'm laughing or anything. If it's only 1,400 years old, how come it's got 56 countries? Jewish and Hinduism is the oldest religions. Judaism is about 4,000. Hindus are over 10,000. Hindus got two countries, India and Nepal. The Jewish have got Israel, and yet the Muslims are in those countries bothering them.
Bothering them?
Yeah, they're bothering Jewish people in Israel, and they're bothering Hindus in India.
So, sorry, by that rationale, are Muslims not allowed to travel across the world?
They're allowed to Nihal, what it is, Muslims can be everywhere. Just respect other people and don't try to take over anyone's land or bother with other people's religion and try to say...
But did your best friends, did they ever try and convert you?
They did later on in life, and I hated them for it. I just couldn't believe it. Are you serious?
But I mean, you can just say no. I mean, I presume when you walk into a shop, the first person that says buy this washing machine, you don't just buy it, do you?
Well, the thing is...
Or do you walk out hating the salesperson for trying to sell you a washing machine?
Well, Nihal, if they really were my friends, would they try to convert me? I mean, I never tried to bother anyone with their religion.
But Sanjay, I mean... What about looking at it this way? They just are proud of who they are and what they are, and they want to give you the opportunity to share in that. And if you say no, then they're how do you know? I mean, when you said no, did they suddenly say you were going to go and burn in hellfire?
No, they were saying you'd get bad luck and stuff. I said, what? Are you serious?
Mate, with all due respect, there are enough Muslims going through bad luck. I mean, look at all of what's going on in Syria and Iraq at the moment. So
they bring it on themselves. If they keep bothering people, what do you expect? They're trying to take over the world. I mean, you're acting like Muslims are doing nothing, a peaceful meditating or something.
Well, I'm not acting like that. I'm just saying by my own experiences, Sanjay, and by your own admission, no Muslim has ever tried to kill you or attack you, even though you believe them to be a violent creed. My friends who are Muslims, I will just make this very clear, have never, ever asked my wife to cover her hair when they go in their house, have never tried to convert us. I've gone round there to break fast with my Muslim friends. One of them did actually say, we do a prayer now. And his wife turned around and said, well, Nihal doesn't have to do that. He's not a Muslim. And my mate went, yeah, of course he doesn't. They know
it's because they know you're famous. That'll backfire on them. That's why. I mean, you're not a normal person
I'm not a normal person. I've heard that said before. I'm not a normal person. Sanjay, just stay with us. Stay with us before we go from the sublime to the ridiculous. Stay with us. Nashaba Hussain is... from Farage, which is Family Advocacy Arbitration and Counselling Service, pronounced Farage, there you go, works with women in crisis. Nashaba, you've just heard Sanjay articulate how he feels about Islam and Muslims, and he is by no means on his own in feeling that way.
No, we have hysterical human beings on all sides of the spectrum, haven't we? Whether they're Muslims, whether they're Hindus, whether they're Christians, whether they're wherever. Unfortunately, unreasonableness is a human condition. Muslims in India were part of society. Yes, they were ruling, and I can't account for what rulers have done.
But Nashaba, what about what Sikhs and Hindus who are in Pakistan and Christians in Pakistan tell us? What about what Christians in Egypt have been through? What about Christians in Nigeria have been through?
I object to that. First of all, because there is no sanction for this in Islam at all. This brand, like the speakers who we get here who get airtime that they're propagating, contributes to this demonization. They have to be shut up. They mustn't be given airtime because it's just like you have to treat them like the EDL.
Remember, it wasn't the courts that talked about Islam. It was the murderers of drummer Lee Rigby that talked about Islam and Muslims.
And the majority of the Muslim population of Britain condemned them and distanced itself from them.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes,
and this is exactly what has to be allowed to happen. Like the British people, when the EDL stand up and talk a lot of nonsense, they say this doesn't represent us. They don't speak for us.
Yeah, okay. This is a good point to bring Sanjay back in. Sanjay, you've heard Nashaba eloquently describe this is not us. Why are we being told and branded with this horrible...
I'm going to tell you, she's talking about nonsense. I'm telling you something. Everything she just said is nonsense.
Why?
First of all, the EDL exists because they don't want Islam taking over England. That's all it is. It's simple as that, and it's happening, and you don't even know it's happening, and it's happening. Another thing, when Tommy Robinson ever quotes stuff like Muslims are the first victims, what he means by this is this. If I can please just say this quickly once off. He means when a Muslim baby is born in a family, the parents brainwash that baby before the baby can even breathe. It's already brainwashing.
Wait a minute. How is that any different for you being told you're a Hindu from birth, a Sikh being told a Sikh from birth? Why does it not become brainwashing when your parents are doing it to you, but becomes brainwashing when a Muslim does it to their kids?
Because the thing is, they're forcing that into their brain. The innocent kid, innocent.
Talking about, man, what do you mean? I mean, look, by that rationale, how old were you when you first went to a Hindu temple?
I was about 5 or 6.
How dare they brainwash a 5-year-old?
No. Wait. I went in my own time. And
you got the bus yourself, did you?
The thing with non-Islam people is they're open-minded. With Islamic, they're not open-minded. They're just corrupted. They're just corrupted, saying one there is, and they kill the rest. That's all there is. There is no such thing as.
Tell me one Muslim you know who. It's quite interesting because you said you used to have 3 best friends, Muslim. None of them tried to kill you.
You know, when I said 3 best friends, I mean out of 200, 3 were the closest. And the funny thing
but they didn't try and kill you. Talk about Muslims as if they are one.
I said because they're British, they're not going to try and kill anyone, are they?
But you've been in India. India, actually, even after the Mumbai attacks, didn't erupt into civil war, did it? There are more Muslims in India than there are in Pakistan. If they were all trying to kill each other, they could probably, considering it only takes one person to strap the bomb to themselves and create absolute carnage, you would think the 160 or so million plus Muslims there are in India would actually be able to bring India to its knees.
Nihal, please, look, can I say one last thing? You know, I'm going to tell you something. You know, when Muslims were in rule of India, what happened is British took over for 200 years. You know, the woman was previously asking, why didn't I mention that? Yeah? And the British white people had killed over 30 million Hindus. Yeah?
Sanjay, do you think that perhaps Sanjay, Hindus were overrun so easily because they were so busy discriminating against each other because of the caste system?
Let me tell you something. First of all, Hinduism has got nothing to do with caste. The silly Indian people, which is why the Congress is ruling India right now, it's just the silly Indian people which is the problem. Nothing to do with Hinduism. Hinduism is the best. It's the only religion in my book.
Yeah, he's right to let him talk.
I mean, the thing is, it's over 10,000 years old, and these pathetic Muslims come along with 1,400 years old.
Hey, Sanjay, you have every right to be angry, you have every right to voice your things, but be careful with these pathetic Muslims, etc., etc. You have not been able to provide any evidence that any Muslim has ever tried to kill you.
57 countries taken over already. You wait another 30 years. You see what happens.
What do you mean?
Like I said.
But what about? Okay, why don't you have the same issues with the Catholic Church and Christianity? Christianity was spread, and Catholicism was spread with the sword. Was it not?
Is it alright if what I want to say is Jesus himself was a peaceful man. He was a lovely man. He never hurt a fly. That's the difference. I mean, it was a Roman Empire which took over, and it happened to be Christian.
Okay, Sanjay,
with it.
Sanjay, you made your points very, very clear indeed, and I can imagine we're going to now get an avalanche of texts and emails off the back of that. I'd like to keep Sanjay on for a little while longer, actually, because I can imagine there's some people that do want to speak to him. Bob is in East London, and maybe one of them. Bob, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Nihal. It's now I'm of the Hindu faith like Sanjay, and I think Sanjay's gone overboard. He does come up with some facts which are correct as regards what happened in India. I just hope this problem doesn't expand in the coming generation.
Okay, Bob, stay with us, because I think that's a point that does worry a lot of people. Afshin is in Lancashire. Afshin, good afternoon.
Hi there. Hi, Nihal.
How are you?
Very angry. I'm sure you can understand why.
I can imagine.
Listening to Sanjay, sort of, and I hear him on a regular basis, so he comes on your show quite a lot.
I've never heard him talk like that before.
Well, to be honest, I've heard him say he uses every opportunity that is remotely to do with Islam to sort of big up Hinduism and bash Islam. I am your average Muslim. The way he just described Muslims and non-Muslims as being broad-minded, that's an absolutely ridiculous statement to me, because I am a broad-minded person, and I will make every effort, and I am making every effort to make sure that my children are open-minded people. They sort of see everybody as they are, not Muslims and Hindus, and the way he's sort of just completely sort of, how ignorant can he actually be to just brand everybody as this pathetic Muslims and sort of, you know, I'm livid kind of listening to things that he's coming out with. And the hatred that comes through in his comments and sort of, you know, these, you know, this and that and sort of Islam, and it's just so sort of, you know what I mean, like annoying and kind of, you know.
Stay there for a second. Afshin, stay there for a second, my darling. Sanjay, how would you react to being accused of being a Hindu extremist?
I am a Hindu extremist, and I'm proud, and I wish I was in India. I'd be the president, because I would make changes in India. Anyway, going back
to... wait a minute, Sanjay, let's get into this for a second, because what makes you then any different from a suicide bomb vest wearing nut job? What makes you any different?
Because Hindus don't teach killing innocent people. Because
Sanjay, speak. Wait a minute, Sanjay.
Yeah.
So you
speak to some of the Muslims in Gujarat, and also speak to some of the Sikhs in Delhi.
Yeah. I respect all religions.
Not that is a religious, and not that they were Hindus and doing it based on Hinduism, in the same way that you could argue that some of the terrorism that we see conducted by Muslims is nothing to do with Islam. It's to do with politics. It's to do with geopolitical things. It's to do with the fact that dictatorships funded by the West were allowed to oppress these people, thus creating such anger within those people who felt that they couldn't do anything, that the only place that they could go to is extremism. Now, are you not nuanced enough to think that actually could be a reason? It's nothing to do with the Quran.
Well, the thing is, you know, oil. That's the reason why Muslims are getting ahead in this world. The thing is, because the oil is all in their countries. That's the problem.
So you're more than willing to describe yourself as a Hindu extremist.
Well, when you say extremist, I'm proud of Hinduism. I'll always protect Hinduism.
Well, that's different.
What's the difference between a Hindu extremist and what I just said? Because you're acting like Hindu extremist kills people. They don't kill people.
Really?
No. Who? Are you talking about the Tamil Tigers?
I'm talking about what happened in Gujarat.
Well, that was
which has been an ongoing...
Every action has a reaction.
Well, that doesn't make it any less the case that Hindus were involved in the massacre of Muslims, does it? That doesn't... You can say reaction or you can say whatever you want, my friend, but the fact was that there were Hindu gangs going around and murdering Muslims in Gujarat.
Because of reactions.
Okay, so that's justified, is it? So that's justified. Wait a minute, I think that Muslims were intentionally burnt alive in Gujarat, my friend.
After they did something. It's not the fact that they just always just bothered.
Okay, Bob.
Do that.
And everybody has the right, so please just open your mind a little bit.
But the difference being, Afshin, is, of course, is that Hinduism, Sikhi, Buddhism, they are not religions that encourage conversion. Judaism doesn't either, whereas, of course, Islam and Christianity does.
Witnesses at our doors, sort of, you know, people try and sort of, some people...
That's very true.
It's the fact that they...
But there aren't a billion of them, and they aren't, as Muslims often say on this show,
you said, Nihal, you've asked Sanjay, how many Muslims, you know plenty of Muslims, I'm sure, how many have actually ever tried to convert you? Be honest. Your average, everyday person will not try and convert you, okay? They may say things, they may sort of try and, you know, sort of make you see
No one's ever tried to convert me to Islam.
Exactly. So,
and I've got a wide circle of Muslim friends.
In a practical sense, you know,
and Hindu friends, and Sikh friends.
He just needs to open his mind a little bit. He's the one that needs to open his mind, and please stop bashing Muslims.
Not yet.
But then, wait a minute, sorry, there's a caveat here, of course. Apparently, according to Sanjay, I'm not normal. So, look, Sanjay, Afshin, thank you. Akila is on the line. Akila, you want to say something to Sanjay?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my darling. What would you like to say to Sanjay?
Nihal, I just tuned into you as Sanjay was speaking, and I was really disturbed with the message that he's trying to get across to all the viewers. His views are very narrow-minded and very ignorant, and what he's saying, he can't back up anything, and I'm very angry that, you know, he has views like this, because I, being a Muslim, British Pakistani, I have a wide circle of Muslim and non-Muslim friends. I have never tried to convert any of my non-Muslim friends to Islam, and nor have I tried to preach and force them into, believing them or following them. So what he's doing, he's tarring all Muslims, with the same brush, and it's wrong. There is a minority of Muslims who will do things like that, but we, as Muslims, we have to give dawah, which is a form of, we have to preach about our religion, just like Christians do, just like Jehovah's Witness do. It doesn't make you a bad person trying to spread your religion. It's when you try and impose it upon people, that's what I don't believe in.
Sanjay?
Yeah, I just want to say something last thing. Women of Islam should have more intelligence. I'll tell you why. If you go to a country which is Sharia law, what happens is if a woman gets raped, they need 4 witnesses just to testify. If they haven't got 4 witnesses,
Sanjay, we'll leave him there. Manzoor is on the line. Manzoor, Akila, stay with us. Manzoor is in Manchester. Manzoor, good afternoon, my friend.
Good afternoon. How are you doing, sir?
I'm having a very lively day.
So I have loved Sanjay to bits. He should consider a career in comedy.
Why?
He's absolutely hilarious.
Didn't Muslims go into India and convert people and pull down Hindu temples and kill Hindus? Didn't that happen?
I must have missed the memo then, if that's the case.
Say that again?
I must have missed the memo on that.
Well, no, that happened.
I'm a Muslim.
Wait a minute, didn't the Mughals invade India? Or was our history wrong?
Well, if we dwell on history, how are we going to move forward?
No, quite. No, I get that. But then do you understand where his views come from? Because they are embedded in hundreds of years of history.
I agree with him. If you look at it, certain civilizations or communities have always faced persecution, be it the Muslims, be it the Hindus, be it the Sikhs.
Okay, have you got a cow or something with you?
No.
Right, okay, I just wondered what that noise was. Mansoor, yes, of course, there has been a history of persecution, but, okay, let's look at it this way, Mansoor. What we have is an issue where there are British Muslims willing to commit terrorist atrocities on mainland Britain. We don't have British Hindus or Sikhs willing to do that, do we? I
agree with that. Those Muslims, I wouldn't even call them Muslims, those are misguided morons. People like Anjem Chaudhry, they don't have a place in society.
Well, what if they said to you, you are a Western liberal Muslim, you are not following the true path of Islam, you are not adhering to the tenets of the Hadiths and the Quran, therefore, someone like him, Anjem Chaudhry, he is a true Muslim and you're not one. What would you say to that? Because he does use that argument when faced with...
He does use that. Well, my response to that would be, I'm not Western, I'm African. Deal with it.
Okay. Sounds like a great T-shirt, that is. Okay, Mansoor, thank you very much. Let's speak to Adam in Birmingham. Good afternoon, Adam.
Hi, Nahal, how are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Thanks for calling in, Adam. So you think we should all sign a peace charter, do you?
Well, your show's been absolutely explosive so far.
Yeah, man, we've been going in. Definitely.
I'm of the opinion, basically, I want to keep this sort of relative to the subject, which is
please do.
The charter itself. First and foremost, is what would such a charter achieve?
You know what? Let's try and get you on a clearer line, Adam. I want to make sure people hear what you've got to say. Omar's in Birmingham, then we'll come back to you, Adam, my friend. Omar, good afternoon, sir.
Hi, Nihal. How's it going?
I'm good, man. What made you want to pick up the phone today, then, Omar?
I just heard your man, that guy, Sanj.
Yeah.
Speaking on the radio, he's a bit extreme, man.
Well, he said he was, yeah. He said, I am a Hindu extremist, is what he said, yeah.
You have a crazy character. You can't jump on the radio and talk negative about other religions. It's the span of the order, man. I'm a born Muslim. I respect all religions.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to have an understanding about everyone's religion and everyone's feelings.
Yeah, fair play to you.
He just
but Omar, would you admit that there are Muslims who don't respect other people's religions in the same way that there are Hindus and Sikhs that don't respect other people's religions?
That's right. No, that's right. And obviously, being a Muslim, I've been taught to respect everybody's religion. I mainly work around Hindu people and Sikh people. That's my job as being an electrician. I come across everybody, but that guy, he was just one in a million, man. He was just there. He just exploded the radio part, man.
Well, you know, the thing is, Omar, it's easy to kind of ignore him, but there are lots of people that are scared of Islam. They're scared of it because they don't understand it, and all they see are these headlines. They see these kind of bombs going off in Iraq and in Egypt, and they're worried.
Yeah, but in Nihal, you got to understand that Islam was never ever spread by the sword. That's what Islam was just spread by word and peace and love. That's how Islam came about.
Well, I'm not sure the Hindus in India would agree with you on that. You know, hundreds and hundreds of years ago when the Mughals came in, the Mughals just didn't come in and go, "Hi, chaps, do you fancy being Muslims? Oh, brilliant, that's all right then. Let's get on with it then." I mean, that's not really how it worked.
Yeah, it didn't happen like that. In many places, it didn't happen like that. But you got to understand, where you got Mecca and Medina, where it started from, where Islam originated, started simple. It's word dawah, meaning invitation towards good and forbid evil. That's all it was. And obviously, as time goes on, people start coming into the religion. You've probably heard this name 1,000 times today morning, Anjem Chowdhury, who's trying to portray Islam, and he's giving negative views over. And see what the Quran is. The language, Arabic language, one word has 10 different meanings. And you have to have an Islamic scholar to understand it properly.
Okay.
If I was to read the Quran,
yes, brother.
Yes, I wouldn't be able to understand it.
Right. Well, my friend, I've got to cut you short.